हरि ओम शन्नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि कृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Now we are going to the Saturn in the 10th house. Why Master selected 10th house Saturn and 10th house Sun? It is quite interesting. Sun is the father of Saturn. Otherwise, Saturn is the son of Sun. But in the predictive astrology, these two planets are the enemies. So, whenever you find Saturn, any malefic aspect between Saturn and Sun, it is not such a happy combination, because Sun is the ruler of the heart and Sun is the ruler of the consciousness, and Saturn is the planet of consolidation, hurdles, obstacles, and it is a slow planet. So when there is an aspect between Saturn and Sun, a malefic aspect, and the people who are having this aspect should be very careful with their heart and the related and the flow of the blood and any blocks in the flow of the blood. All these things they should be very careful. That is the predictive part of astrology, right? Okay. Now Saturn in the 10th house. In another instance, in case a person has Saturn in the 10th house, then he knows that he will be underestimated. He knows that his potentialities can never be understood by others. For that he has a choice. Either he can feel sorry and disappointed for himself and retire in his life, or he may use it to his own advantage. In fact, when others don't understand your potentialities, you ought to use them better. That being so, you will have a better hold over the other persons around you. This is like a yogic practice, yogic way of living. What happens when Saturn is in the 10th house? He will be underestimated, sometimes he will be insulted, and people never understand the potentialities what this person is having. And many times there may be some hurdles also in his professional life or in his personal life. And people with Saturn in the 10th house, generally they feel loneliness and they feel sorry and disappointed. And sometimes people will retire from that particular job and live alone, or a feeling of loneliness. This is not advisable to these persons because they will have a lot of potentiality inside. They can live with all discipline. Saturn is the planet of discipline and consolidation and deep thinking and slow and steady. The planet of patience, planet of perseverance, and planet of labor. Labor means hard working. Okay. So people, they have to decide for themselves whether to retire from the life or to live for themselves, live for their goals in the life, live with their own likings and prove themselves. Not to please others, to prove to themselves. This is the better way of living with the Saturn in the 10th house. If you see the horoscopes of the very, very great people, in many horoscopes you see Saturn in the 10th house. But if you read their biographies or autobiographies, certainly you will find that they face a lot of problems in their childhood, minimum up to 30 years of their age. They might have been insulted by others, underestimated by others, no recognition in the society, and lot more things. Of course, Saturn is in the 10th house in Libra, or Saturn is in the 10th house in Capricorn or Aquarius. Two are the own house to Saturn, and Libra is the exaltation to Saturn, right? So in these cases, maybe things are a little bit different, but when the Saturn is a ruling planet in the horoscope, definitely those people will be tested by circumstances, by the people, by the opportunities, by so many things. They have to stand, they have to fight to prove themselves. That is what Master is telling here. That the secret of how to use the knowledge depends upon you and not upon the planets. So the purpose of studying astrology, especially the spiritual astrology, is the secret is how to use the knowledge depends upon you. How to use this astrological knowledge depends upon you, not the planets. Planets is there always like that. It is for you to use that. So if you have these type of experiences in your life, in your personal life, and if you are blessed enough to stand with all these tests and trials in the life, and if you stand with the faith on the Master or on the God or on yourself, then definitely you will get the success. If you look at the world, if you look at the people for their feelings, for their appreciation, then we will be in trouble. Remember that. The people ruled by the Saturn, whether positive or negative, they never expect anything from others. They have to work for themselves, or even if they are working for the society or the social world or any branch of life. As Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, do your duty and forget about it. Don't expect the returns. If you ask me, that is the teaching given to the people who are born with Saturn influence in the horoscope. What exactly Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, do your duty and forget about the results, leave it to the God. This is the thing has to be followed by the people who are ruled by the Saturn in their horoscopes. This is the final thing, right? It all depends upon you, your own bank account. It never depends upon the cashier in the bank. Why things happens like this is, there is no balance in your bank account from your previous birth. Even though cashier is your friend, if you give a check to the cashier, even though he is your good friend or a brother or whoever it may be, he cannot give you the cash because there is no balance in your previous account. You did not get anything from your previous birth. So there is no balance in your bank account. Even the cashier is your friend, he cannot give you any money. That's how you have to pull down again with your practice, with your work, hard work, dedication and devotion and clear understanding, and live a meaningful life. That is what Master said, Saturn in the 10th house. And I am very confident about this teaching, especially this teaching, because I know the people who are 10th house Sun in many houses, in many signs. I know many people 10th house in the Saturn in the 10th house in many signs. I have seen with my own house these two types of people. So I have a lot of experience with 10th house Saturn. I cannot give you the names of the people, but I will tell you one example. In our group in India, there is one person who is having Saturn in the 10th house and Saturn in the Sun in the 10th house, right? I know the Sun is not so strong even though it is in the 10th house. Saturn is also not so strong because of the conjunction of the other planets. I know how Master treated him, because when 10th house Sun is there, he will get some reputation, he will get some fame, he will get some good luck, good opportunities and good friends around him. He will have some magnetism. If Saturn is there in the 10th house, he will take a lot of time to get his success. The taste of success, it will take a lot of time. Until 30 years of age, he cannot be settled in his life in many horoscopes unless Saturn is very, very, very strong. When all of us there, Master E.K. used to give all the presentations to all the people. He never gave any presentation to this man, this boy, because I am telling when we are so young. Even though this boy, he used to collect a lot of very good articles and good photographs like that. Whenever he collect a beautiful thing, beautiful photograph or a beautiful idol, whatever it may be, Master, instead of giving him something, you know what he used to do? Simply he used to take that photograph from him or idol from him and present it to somebody else. He never allowed this man, this boy, I have seen him for 14 years. Master E.K. never allowed this boy to keep for himself anything, even E.K.'s photograph. He is a very nice boy. He used to collect a beautiful photograph of the master. Whenever master sees this photograph of him in this boy's house, he used to send somebody to his house and, okay, take that photograph from him and keep it in your prayer. Or something like that. You know what happened? Once, one old man came to master with a small book, and then he told the master, Master, I have written your biography and you please give it for printing. It is some 30 to 40 pages book in Telugu, in my language. Then you know what, master smiled and said, okay, leave it and I will take care of it. And then master called this boy, he is a writer. He gave that book to him, that boy, and asked him, this old man gave this book to me and he telling that it is my biography, I don't know about it. You please take it and do some corrections and prepare for the printing. The small book with 40 pages. I know personally what happened. This boy had thrown that book out because there is nothing there about the biography of the master. He has written some notes of master's lecture, something like that. But he is a very great man. So he has thrown the book out and he has written some 250 pages book. The first biography of Master E.K. in our language. It is right now round about 76 or 78. I did not remember the date. And the book came very beautiful. Master followed the entire 250 page book. And this boy has written the introduction and everything and he prepared the book. And then finally master asked this boy, and who is the author of this book? What name you are going to put as the author on this book? He said very simply, I was there. He said very simply, I have written this book. I did not use even one paragraph of that book because that is not your biography. So then what do you think? Then he had a doubt in his mind. Then what do you think? Then you know what master said? This is the will of that old man. He wanted to write a book but he could not write. That is his will and intention to bring a book on me, and so you please put his name as the author. Can you imagine that? I am the witness. You please put his name as the author. The boy simply said, oh, it is okay. And then simply as the author, this boy put the name of that old man as the author of the book, and book was released in the Guru Pujas in Visakhapatnam. To my surprise, on the day so many people are there except this boy. And master invited so many people and he presented his book to many people except to this boy. Then finally one of his friends, our friends, and they told master, so everything was done by Raju and everything was done by this boy and we are all witness about it, and why are you not calling this boy? And I am also there, and then master says, okay, let him come. And then finally, you know what he said? Okay, so and so and Raju and others, they are recommending your name to give this book, to present these books to you, and you please take it. That is the introduction to present that book to that boy. You know, looking from outside, it looks absurd. There is no meaning at all. But looking from inside, Master has given him lot of training with the detachment. The detachment. So do your duty and leave it the result. Don't bother about the result. Do your duty, that's it. So he is one of the most what is that? He is most lovable person in our group. Why I am telling you this is, now he is taking a lot of responsibilities in the group and doing a lot of work. And in our discussion, what I heard from him, this is the training given to me by the Master to practice the detachment in the practical life. So there is no other option. We should not think about other thing except doing our duty and forget about it. I am so much blessed by the Master. This is what he said. Now, even though whatever I do, I never feel that I am doing all these things. So I am telling you this is the training what we have to get from the planets when you look at your horoscope. Remember that. If you have read all these positions of the planets in the houses, positions of the planets in the signs, aspects between the planets, there are a lot of things to understand. In the reading the horoscope, not from the predictive side, from the practice side, from the spiritual side, from the esoteric side, from the karmic side. You understand that? From the karmic side also you have to understand the horoscope. And then you have to plan according to that, and keeping the mind the teachings of the great masters, teachings of Lord Krishna or Jesus or Buddha, whatever it may be, superimpose those teachings on your planetary positions and try to understand about yourself and what your past, your previous birth and duty assigned to you in this birth, and preparing yourself for the bright future to the next births. This is the purpose of astrology, frankly speaking. Right? Now, one of his parents may misunderstand him, resulting in the person having an unhappy relationship with parents. The Saturn is there in the 10th house. He will have also a misunderstanding with his parents. Actually what happened with this boy's horoscope also. As a result, he transmits the same thing to the next generation. That is, he will have a very tough time with his own son. He may be misunderstand his own son and in turn receive some misery from his own son also. He may underperform and fall headlong in the journey of life just because he is misunderstood. That is the difference. This boy, if anybody having 10th house Saturn, he will be misunderstood by his father. And the next turn, this man also misunderstand his son. So he will not be happy with his previous generation and the next generation also. There he should be very careful. No doubt it gives troubles. Troubles have nothing to do with success or failure. This is one of the best teachings of the Master. Troubles have nothing to do with success or failure. Troubles are nothing to do with success or failure. Remember that. Let us not confuse between troubles and success. Definitely there will be troubles when there is Saturn in the 10th house, but no one rose to heights and became greater in ordinary mankind without having troubles in his personal life. Definitely 10th house Saturn gives lot of troubles, but you will not find any person on this earth who are very great. They all came out of troubles in their childhood. Remember that. There isn't a single example of a greater leader who has gone beyond ordinary humanity and reached a zenith without having serious trouble and suffering in his personal life. Master is questioning us. Can you find even a single person who came to the zenith or highest position in his life without any troubles in his life? No, we cannot find it. So troubles are a different thing and success is a different thing. A true astrologer should not confuse between troubles and success. A true astrologer should not confuse between troubles and success. As a saying, it is so beautiful, but when you look at the horoscope of any being, when there are so many squares in his horoscope, and so many planets or malefic planets are in some houses, In general, 95% of the astrologers, they will give you the forecast or reading. You will have troubles here, troubles here, troubles here, troubles here, troubles here, lot of troubles. You may face lot of troubles in your life. It is very difficult to you to be successful. Do this japa or mantra or prayer or ritual. They suggest lot of things, but they won't work. What will work? We have to understand the problems, the nature of the problems, the origin of the problems, and we have to understand the planetary influences in the horoscope, and we have to work out our life with such a strategic plan with all the intelligence given to us by the great masters. That is the only way to lead a life with all the problems in the horoscope, and then success is a must in our life. That is the purpose of the astrology. Again, master is telling that success and failure, they will definitely come and go into our life, but the main teaching of the master is troubles have nothing to do with success or failure. This is the teaching you have to write on our wall, on a very big letters, on a paper, and stick in your wall, on your wall. Troubles have nothing to do with success or failure. So with this, 10th lesson is over. In the next lecture, first lecture is over. Then from the next lecture, I will explain to the question and answers session of the master. And swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahishaha gobrahmanebhya somastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.